Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Onlink. This will be episode 3. Let's log back into my gateway. When I left off last time, I was just starting to spend some of the massive amounts of cash that I had picked up. Which you can see I still have a ton of cash left to go. Let's go ahead and go back to Uplink Internal Services. And let's start pimping out our system. Now, let's see here. If we view our gateway, we have room for 8 processors. We also have room for a ton more RAM, which we're going to need. We're going to go to the software upgrades section here. We're not going to go to the hardware upgrades. There's a reason for this. Well, I mean, we will eventually, but from here, we need to pick up Patch System Processor. We're also going to need to pick up Patch System Processor version 2. This is going to let us use hyperdrive CPUs. System Processor 1 lets you use Nano. Processor 2 lets you use Hyper. So here we can get Nanos, we can get Hypers, but we can't get the good ones. Here the best processor you can get is a Hyper 500. Now while we're here, we may as well go ahead and get our 3 RAMs. Which if you look here, you can see that it'll support 3. 1, 2, 3. This one here is only a 16 gigaquad. It'll get replaced by the 128 gigaquad that I just purchased. As far as the modem, I think I already bought an 8 gigaquad modem for this thing. As far as memory, what's our maximum memory? 4, 8, 12, 13. Let's just go ahead and upgrade that while we're at it. And we are going to disconnect from Uplink Internal Services. Now we got to keep an eye on our cash. We're down to 500,000. We're going to connect to Uplink Laboratories Research. We're going to go to hardware upgrades here. You can see here you can get an asynchronous Hyper 500, which is 20% faster than a regular 500. We're going to start out with one of these. We're not going to be able to fit any more than that right now. And if you look down here, our next step is going to be an Ice Commie, and then we're going to get Frozen Hells. Suppose I should probably explain what those do. These here are cooling systems. What these do is any CPU that you attach a cooling system to gets a % increase on its velocity, or on its speed. Cooling fan here is a cheap upgrade that gives you a 5% increase. A water cooling system gives you a 15% increase. Now this is per processor. You have to buy these per processor. Processor immersion gives you, I believe, a 30. Liquid nitrogen gives you a 60% increase. However, in order to do that, you have to have a liquid nitrogen manager. The Frozen Hell gives you a 95% increase, but it requires an Ice Commie. Software upgrades. We're not going to need anything here right now. Excuse me for just a second. Because we're actually about to replace our killer software. The software, let me switch back to my primary view here. Switch back to my normal data bank. The killers that we have here, we're about to get rid of those. We're going to go back to Uplink Internal Services. We're going to go to the software upgrades, and here we're going to buy HUD connection analysis. I don't have enough RAM for the upgrade. So, in order to be able to purchase that, I got to have 4 gigaquads available RAM. Which I can't turn anything off at the moment because I don't have any upgrades or anything going. In use by core systems, that's because I have the processor upgrades. So, before we do anything, we're going to have to wait until they upgrade my RAM. Let's go into fast forward mode. Gateway upgrades are commencing. Okay, gateway upgrades are complete. If we look here, we are now going to have a lot more RAM on our main system, or a lot more memory. If we look under the administration panel, we have a ton more RAM available. And if we take a look in here, we have our original 60 gigahertz processor, but we also have this asynchronous 500. Wait until you guys see the upgrade that gave us. Okay, now we are going to need the connection analysis upgrade. That gives us this here. This will allow you to analyze your connection between a server. It tells you what type of security is in the way. Uplink Internal Services is very secure. It has all of them. Now, we are going to need the bandwidth monitor bypass. The best version we can get right now is 5, which is fine for me. We are going to come down here, we're going to get the monitor bypass. Best version is 5. Let's check our money, make sure we have enough. We have plenty. And come down here, we're going to get proxy bypass, which we can get up to version 6 right now. We may as well get our other bypasses while we're at it. Version 6 of Sentry bypass. We need firewall bypass. And we need encryption bypass. There, we now have all of our bypass software. We're going to keep the killers just in case we run across something that's higher than level 5. Or level 6 for the proxy. Because these will work even if it's a level 10 security, which I think is the highest. I'm not sure. I've never seen one get that high. But now we have the ability to bypass security as opposed to having to force it disabled. However, we're not quite done yet. We're going to come back here to Uplink Laboratories Research one more time. Going to go to software upgrades here. We're going to get patch connection analysis. What that's going to do is now, if we look at our menu here, it's going to show us not only what is there, but the level. So now we know how to bypass them. We know what levels we need to bypass. Alright, excuse me for just a second again. Now, we have another mission. It's another trace balance transfer. Let's disconnect from here. Now, let's go ahead and turn our gateway off. We're trying to break into Universal Industries International. We don't need enzyme tagged anymore. So, it's going to be right here. We're going to load, and we're going to connect to that. Let's go ahead and get our trace tracker running. We're currently not being traced. Let's open connection analysis and see what we're dealing with. Monitor 5, proxy 5, bandwidth monitor 5. We're going to come here to bypassers. We're going to launch a monitor bypass. There. This has disabled their monitor. They now cannot see what we're doing to the others. So I could actually run the killer software and theoretically it shouldn't be able to detect it. There's no need to do that because we can just bypass them. It's instant. The only price you pay is that you have the processes active up here. Manage existing account. The mission wants us to break into account number 169-93833. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's not do this yet. Let's disconnect. Let's reconnect using our long connection. And let's create a new account. Okay, your new account has been created. Let's go ahead and disconnect. And let's go clean up our logs. Now, I have a much faster processor. So when I come in here to access logs, I go to Security, Log Deleter. Boom. We're done. Let's turn this up all the way. And now, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to clean up previous logs a little bit. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to clean up some of the blank space in between. I don't know if this is actually doing anything or not. If I delete this, it should realize that it needs to move everything up. Should, but it didn't. Oh well. A little bit later on, actually, you know what, let's just do it now. But see how long it's taking to do this, even with a 500 gigahertz processor? It's going through the log file and it's cleaning everything up. Now, I'm going to come back to this a little bit later. For right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to have a close there. So I'm going to want to reconnect one more time just to straighten up my logs. Because you don't want to have a close with an open. Or a close without an open, rather. See here how it's connection from 127 closed? That would look a little suspicious. Actually, so does password authentication here. So let's kill that. Okay, now we're ready for a bank hack. Really wish I could get my throat to stay cleared. Let's go ahead and connect to the bank. We'll launch our bypassers again. You can see the green light here. That means the bypass is currently active. Now, if I were to be dealing with running bypass software without having a monitor bypass, you can temporarily disable these by hitting the pause button here. If I do that, the proxy is going to be re-enabled and it's not going to show up if the proxy gets scanned by the monitor. But right now the monitor is disabled, so it can't scan anything. Now, back to the mission. We're trying to break account number 169938833. I'm going to take our password breaker. We're going to break the password. Notice how much faster it is? Notice I'm also not being traced. It's because I haven't done anything bad yet. I haven't tried to hack an admin password, so I can get in here and I can spend all day in here. Now, let's go ahead and view the account. He only has $906. Let's view his statement. He transferred $1.4 million. Let's clear this. That was to bank number 108.78.10.24. Account number was 146322924. Oh, this guy's an uplink member. That's interesting. Now, I haven't really done anything illegal there, and they weren't even tracing me, so I shouldn't really have to worry about this, but it's good practice to do it anyway. I'm going to connect to internet and remove my logs. Now, you may be wondering why I went to the trouble of creating an account at that bank. It's just in case I ever do get an account at that bank that I can do something with, or there's another reason. If you have an account name, if you have a valid admin password and you route through a system, you can log in using your password credentials and it makes it a little harder to trace you. So in the future, if I'm doing a really high risk hack, I can add the banks to my bounce path and it'll take them that much longer to catch me. So there was a reason for it. Actually, I need to go back to Internet. I need to go into the Browse section and pull up the banks. 108.78, that's genetic developments. Let's go ahead and tag him red on our sysmap. Long connection. Come on. Okay, we're not going to do anything illegal yet. So, we're just going to create an account. We don't need a bypass or anything for that. We are going to want to clean up our logs just for good practice. This trace tracker is really annoying me. I wish you could move it. Oops. Accidentally clicked out into my Audacity window there. Log deleter. Delete. Delete. Done. Okay, now it's time to be bad. Come on, connect. Thank you. Okay. I know we're dealing with a monitor and a bypass and a proxy. It's just what levels. All level 5 again. Monitors down. Bandwidth monitors down. Proxies down. We're going to manage an existing account, but it's not going to be ours. It's going to be the one we tagged in here. 146.32924. I'm going to break it. Oh, this guy's password sucked. Let's see, this is Marie Gonzalez. Oh, she's been bad. She spent some of that money that she got. That's okay. We're about to make it go away. 1399976. Now, before we do anything, let's let these guys know who ended up with their precious money. Okay. Mission is complete. They love us. They're about to hate us. Because we are about to go to transfer money. And our account number at this bank, we're going to go 108.78.10.24. The account number is going to be 154700534. The amount is going to be 139. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's cancel that out because we need to check something first. We need to make sure she does not have a loan. Okay. Because if she has a loan and we transfer all the money, we can't close the account. Closing the account makes it a little bit harder for them to pull up the statements. It gives you a couple more seconds of breathing room. Which I think is pretty much the only reason I didn't get busted last episode, is because I closed the account. So, now let's come back here and transfer again. Our account number here is 154700534. The amount we're transferring is 1399976. We're going to have our log deleter at the ready and at maximum. Transfer. The transfer was completed successfully. View statement, delete statement, delete statement. Shift the logs, shift the logs, shift the logs. We're done. Let's close the account. Close. We're going to manage an existing account. Hours. We're going to go security log deleter, view statement. We're going to delete. We're going to go transfer money. We're going to go to uplink. 14.56.222.220. Account 436443. Amount was 1399976. We're going to go transfer. The transfer was completed successfully. View statement, delete statement, done, and close account, closed. Disconnect. I'm going to go into the admin section. We're going to log in. We're going to go access logs, delete password authentication, delete that. and we should be good. We should have gotten away with that. Now, as an extra added security measure, it should not be necessary to do this. I'm going to connect to Uplink International Bank, which is, I think it's right there. Yep. Come on, connect. Alright, let's bypass them. Monitor is down. We're going to take the bandwidth monitor down. It shouldn't matter for a bandwidth monitor because all it does is prevent you from hacking a password. And we know the password on this system. So what we're doing right now is technically completely legal. What we're about to do is not. Uplink should not audit your bank statements. But we want to be 100% sure that we're not going to get caught. Speed this up a little bit. There we go. That log is done. Our rating is now elite. Again, if you get a promotion, it means you more than likely got away with it. You can see we now have $1,500,000 back in our account. We're happy. We're very happy. With that, we're going to go back to Uplink Labs Research. Into hardware upgrades, we're going to buy 2 more async 500s. We're going to buy our IceCommie. Now, we have to wait for the IceCommie to be installed before we can install the Frozen Hells. Software upgrades. Let's see, this requires master key, which I think you have to get from Uplink Internal Services. I don't think it's actually called master key. But here we're going to go to software upgrades. We are going to need a decipher. We may eventually want a decryptor, but we don't need it right now. Let's see here. We have that, we have that. We're going to need the PC Force. That gives us our PC hacking tools. Or at least it gives us the ability to purchase PC hacking tools. We don't have any yet. Here are your PC hacking tools. We're going to want admin menu inject, console enable, login enable, main menu inject, MD2 crack, MD4 crack, MD5 crack, and SHA 512 crack. You can see we've already spent most of the money that we just got. Here we're going to want to go ahead and get our system map show trace, which will show our active traces on the map now. We're going to want VDPin view. And we're going to want voice analyzer. There's a reason why we want those last two. Now, if we come back here to the Research Center, go into software upgrades, let's go ahead and purchase the Chaos Library. Chaos Library doesn't really do a whole lot for you, but it does kind of increase the processor of your asynchronous, increases the speed of your asynchronous processors a little bit. It doesn't tell you how much, so I have no idea. Now, we have $400,000 left. Let's go ahead and disconnect from here, and let's go watch the news while we wait. Pull up the news server. You can see the last news was still ARC. Let's go ahead and fast forward. Hearing a lot of dinging. There were our processors and our ice kami. And all three are complete. Let's disconnect from here. And let's go... Oops. Wrong one. Let's turn that off. We don't need that. We need to go to Uplink Labs. And we're going to go into the software upgrades. No, not software. Hardware upgrades. And we're going to purchase 3... No, we can only purchase 1 Frozen Hell. Which, honestly, that's not going to be worth it right now, because if we purchase a Frozen Hell, it's going to put it on our oldest processor, which is going to be that 60 gigahertz. Why would we do that? We can actually get a better increase from buying another processor, but we're okay for now. We're going to save that. Matter of fact, we're just going to sit on what we have right now. Our bandwidth sucks. We do need to upgrade our bandwidth. Now, see here the generate button? I don't recommend using this. The reason why? Yes, it creates a wonderfully long, complicated bounce path, but look where Internic is in it. It's about halfway through. It is theoretically possible for Internic to be your last bounce and therefore end up getting you caught. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't work right. Now, if you could connect to Internet and then tell it to generate a random path, that would be awesome. But it doesn't work that way. So, what do we want to do? We can unhighlight Uplink International. We don't need that. Let's see. I think what we're going to want to do is connect to Uplink Internal Services, and we're going to get a better modem. We're going to buy the 8 gigaquad modem. The gateway that we're using isn't big enough to support any of these. At least not with the satellite receiver upgrade, which is a waste of a SATA 2 port. Security. How many security systems can we have on this? Looks like 3. See, here's our ice kami. We have 1 more SATA 2 port available. I really wish you could sell this processor. Let's see here. As far as security, let's go ahead and buy our wireless router. Let's buy the gateway self-destruct and the motion sensor too. Let's go to the news server. Let's fast forward a little bit. Now, you notice that nothing popped up in the news here about that bank being hacked. That's because I bypassed the monitor. They never started tracing me. They have no idea I was even there. Our upgrades are commencing. Our upgrades are complete. If we come here now, we can go to hardware drivers, motion sensor. This thing here is your motion sensor. If that turns yellow, it means that someone near Uplink, or someone from Uplink is near your gateway, usually doing an upgrade. If it turns red, it means there's multiple people there. Unless you ordered an upgrade recently, that means you're probably about to get busted. So that's when you want to come here and you want to go hardware drivers gateway nuke. I'm not going to run the gateway nuke because I don't need to. And it would blow up all the hardware we just spent so much money on. Alright, so what do we do with all these new crackers that we just got? Let's go be bad. Let's pull up the mission list. You can see we have a ton of missions here now. That's because we've bypassed a whole lot of levels. Trace a hacker who recently broke into our systems. Oh, okay. That's not what I wanted to show you. Sometimes, let's see here. Sometimes a mission will come up like trace a hacker who recently broke into our systems, or trace a recent balance transfer. Sometimes you'll see missions like that, but when you go to contact them, it'll say we cannot allow you to contact this employer based on specific instructions from them. There's a reason why. It's because they're looking for you. If that mission gets taken and succeeds, you get disavowed. However, don't have to worry about that. Skilled agent required to free fellow agent. This looks promising. One of our uplink brethren is in prison, and they want us to get him out. Let's see, I want more money. Because of my level, I can probably pretty much always get away with this now. Okay, agreed. Now, that is going to have given us, let's close that. That gives us the link to the global criminal database. Aside from banks, the GCD, I think, is the first system that can get you disavowed if you get caught. So, where is it? It is up here. Let's load our bounce path. Let's connect. Connect. Alright, this is a government-owned computer system, blah blah blah. Now, here's a trick. If you go into the read-write system, you can do pretty much everything you can in the admin menu, but they'll never trace you. And holy crap, what is all this? This is the new systems. First of all, let's bypass their security. They were running level 1 on everything. Our bypassers are more than enough to get past that, so let's bypass the monitor, bypass the proxy, and bypass the bandwidth monitor. Now we've got all three of those bypassed. The elliptic curve encryption cipher. It's okay if this doesn't make any sense to you, it's not supposed to. There is no way to solve this without using a program. What program? That is the decipher. Now, we have a ton of processing power behind this. Imagine how long this would take if you didn't have multiple 500 gigahertz processors. Now, I can turn it up and make it go a lot faster. But, okay, we've been granted access on one of the three systems. We go into VDPin. Holy crap, what is this? This is a big, gigantic, complicated game of lights out. If you click one of these things, it's going to turn that light off, but it's going to turn all of them around it on. There's also level 2 and level 3 systems, which add multiple colors and add the ability to cross over the boundaries and all that stuff. Personally, I don't really like this game. It's a pain in the ass, which is why I purchased this. This is a VD pin cracker. If you hit go, it's going to start cracking that VD pin. It's just going to go through and it's going to push buttons until it gets it right. Now, there are systems later on that if you push the wrong button, you only have a certain number of button pushes before it locks you out of the system. This cracker will also get through that, and I don't think the animation changes. I think it keeps doing this. Let's press a whole crap load of buttons, which it shouldn't be able to do, but the point is, it works. Okay, we have finished cracking this. We're granted access on 2 out of 3 systems now. The last thing is the user ID and password. We're just going to crack the read-write. Now notice the VD pin cracker didn't automatically shut down. That's a bug, I think. Password breaker. Notice we're still not being traced. That's because we haven't gone into the admin system. We can't access their security, we can't access their logs, but we can search their records and we can modify them. That's all we need to do for this mission. We're getting Rex Almond out of prison. As soon as it finds him. Okay, unlawful access of classified data. So he's been a bad boy. We are going to clear his history. We're going to authorize his release. He will be released in 3 hours. That's good. Let's go here and let's look for us. We've never been caught doing anything bad, so we shouldn't have a criminal record. You can occasionally get framed by other people who add stuff to your criminal history, but yeah, notice I have no date of birth. My height is 0 centimeters. Man, am I short. Your eye color is brown. Actually, mine are green. And my hair is brown, so shows what you know, game. You can actually authorize your own arrest, which is kind of funny, but it ends the game, so it's kind of pointless too. Okay, let's go clean up our logs. Now that we have this super fast processor, log deletion is almost instantaneous. We're going to clean out everything except for that last connection established. Actually, we're going to clean that out too, because we're going to want to clean up the logs here. The longer you go without doing this, the longer it's going to take to do it. So as soon as you have enough processor speed to make this a relatively short process, you should probably do it. It's not really supposed to do this. It's kind of an error in the way that Uplink or Onlink writes data to your save file. If you don't occasionally do this, your save files could get absolutely crazy. At least on systems that you pay attention to. I mean, I only ever do it for internet. I've never really had a save file get way out of control, so it's probably not even necessary. But then again, if I'm looking for a specific log that I want to delete, I don't want to be distracted by huge gaps. And occasionally I like to check on other people, like this guy here at 108144. Sometimes I like to, go look in on them and see what they're doing. See who they are. Oh, crap. That was a bad log. Kind of surprised we didn't get caught for something. That was from 3 days ago. Wonder what we were doing there. I really hope that wasn't a bank hack. That would suck, because that would get us caught. But see, that's why you have to be really, really careful about it, deleting logs. I have no idea what I was doing at that particular point in time. It might have been something completely... Wow. I know I didn't miss that many logs. Wonder what's going on here. There's a password auth accepted from way back when I first started playing this. This has got to be a bug. See, it's probably a good thing I came in here and cleaned up the logs, huh? Because if someone were to go tracing me, that could end badly. Okay, this should be the last log. We'll disconnect from internet. We'll reconnect. The only reason I'm doing this is so that we get that connection established, connection closed thing going. Oops. Disconnect. Alright. Let's go ahead and go back to Uplink Internal Services. And let's watch the news. Oh, what's this? Earlier today, a man was released from jail by federal agents after being falsely accused. Rex Solomon's out of prison. It was believed he's a freelance hacker. They suspect him of multiple computer crimes. But the case collapsed earlier today due to the disappearance of key evidence. I wonder who had something to do with that. Hey, Uplink, I got your boy out. Give me my money. Alright, and with that, I think we've done enough damage for one episode. This has been Night Dagger with Let's Play Onlink, episode 3. Maybe back with another episode later tonight, I'm not sure. We want to kill some more time, and I want to show off a couple more types of missions before we start to get into the real nitty-gritty stuff here. May want to see if I can track down another bank to hack, because I like having a lot of spare cash. 300,000 seems like a lot of cash, but in Onlink it really isn't. So I would like to be able to pad my buffer a little more, but we'll see what happens. I will catch you guys in the next episode. See you then.